Okay, 2021, here I am trying to finish my Appalachian Trail hike. Just got dropped off here at Swatara Gap. Those of you that saw my videos last year or want to go back and look at them, you'll notice that this right here is I-81 up there. That's where I ended last year. There's kind of a creek back there. It's a little maybe hard to see in the video, but anyway, this is where I got dropped off, and now I've got quite a climb to go, and then I'm going to have quite a lot of level ground for a couple of days, so I'm hoping to get a lot of miles in. Here we go, 2 months on the trail, and this is 39 seconds in. Woohoo! Okay, so been hiking about an hour, and I don't know, I've done 2 or 3 miles. I'm up my first mountain, and feels pretty good. I've had a chest cold a bit the last couple of weeks, so not breathing as well as I could be, and also haven't really trained the last couple of weeks. Haven't continued hiking at home the way I intended to, so I expected to be a little slower than I wanted to be, but I'm doing actually better than I thought I would, so I'm happy about that. And now I'm at the top of this mountain, and it's been pretty level. And I think I've got quite a ways, maybe the rest of today, of not a lot of climbing or dropping. So I'm just going to try to enjoy it. It always is weird the first day out. It just doesn't feel real. You don't feel like you're a part of it yet. You're just like, I don't know, trying to get your head around the fact that your whole life's just instantly changed, and now you're doing nothing but hiking for weeks and weeks. So but it feels really good, and I feel like I'm getting into it, so I can't believe I'm finally out here again. Well, I just ran across that gentleman that was in that little snippet of video there behind me. He started hiking the AT when he was 16 years old, and he has done the whole AT from Georgia up through Connecticut, so right to the Massachusetts border, except for this little section right here in Pennsylvania that he had to get off trail a while back during a storm, so he's finishing that up. But then later on in the summer, he's going to head up and try to finish Massachusetts. He's going to, do all of Massachusetts. So, pretty amazing. I said he started when he was 16. He's now 70 years old. And so he's got quite a ways to go still, right? He's just, maybe not quite 2/3 of the way there. His trail name, very appropriately, is Lifetime. He thinks it's going to take him a lifetime to finish the Appalachian Trail, and I think he's right. But what a neat guy. He had both of his knees replaced last year, and he said best thing he ever did. He's out here, just doing it up this year, so feeling great. Gonna have to have his shoulder replaced next year, he said. So he's definitely getting the most out of his body parts. What a neat guy. Good guy to meet on day one. Well, I just crossed the road back there, and it's a gentleman, big white beard, big blue Jeep. His name's Slick. He hiked, I think he said he thru hiked this in '04, so quite a while back. Anyway, he was set up doing trail magic, and he said, "Hey, stop and get a drink, something to eat if you want." I said, well, I'm embarrassed to take anything because I've been hiking for only 3 hours in total this whole year on the AT, you know? Like, but I stopped and had a drink and talked to him for a few minutes, and he was a great guy. So thank you very much. That was awesome. I told him it's going to be a good year because last year I hiked for 600 miles before I came across any trail magic. This year I hiked, I don't know, 9. Well, apparently I've gone 1,200 miles on the AT. You know, seems kind of cool to see that sign there on first thing, but when you think about it, I mean, first of all, they're just kind of damaging a tree, which isn't real cool. Usually people will, you know, put some rocks down on the ground in the shape, you know, or kind of to fashion out, you know, 1,200 miles or something like that, which is a lot more ecologically correct. But also, you know, the trail changes constantly. Like every single year, it's a little bit different length because somebody's added or subtracted, you know, some trail somewhere, redone something. So not only have they done something to that tree, but, you know, for next year, it's going to be all for naught because it'll be wrong. So anyway, probably not something I would advise doing on a regular basis. I wonder if I'm going to see that more from this point on. Well, good morning. I got in a little late last night to really video. Since I'd gotten a late start, I wanted to hike as far as I could, so it was almost dark when I got in. But anyway, I stayed at Heartline campsite. It's really nice, easy going. Met a guy there. His name is Halo, and he and I hung out and talked for a little bit. Really nice guy. And I thought we might hike today. I'm trying to get into Port Clinton, Pennsylvania. That, by the way, is where I've started this year because that's where I left off last year. Is in Pennsylvania. So anyway, I thought we were going to maybe hike in together. We talked about doing that last night, but I got up a bit earlier than what we had kind of planned, and he wasn't up at all when I left, which I only left about 15 minutes before we said we were going to. So I think he decided to sleep in a little, which is the way it works. So he's through hiking. He's been hiking out here a long time, so I'll see him again. He's going to catch me and pass me, you know, if not today, for sure in the next couple of days. So anyway, I look forward to talking to him some more. It was fun. I don't know what else. Just it's really supposed to rain a lot today. Some thunderstorms later. So part of the reason why I got up early to head out. I try to make as many miles as I can before it rains. When I get into Port Clinton, I'm not planning on staying anywhere there, but there is a Walmart there, so I think I'm going to hike down to that and resupply, and then probably head back out into the woods and hike another couple of miles away from the town before I camp for the night. If I do that, it'll end up being like a 19-mile day though, so I'm not sure. I might even stop short of Port Clinton depending on how I'm feeling, and camp tonight and then hike in tomorrow and get some food and stuff. So we'll see what happens. So this year I am attempting to finish the AT finally in my third summer, and I have got, well, when I started I had, as far as I can calculate, about 1,008 miles to do to get to Katahdin, to the end up in Maine, and I've got almost exactly 2 months. So if you do the math, it ends up being, considering I have to, I need to take one day off at least every 2 weeks, it ends up being somewhere around 18 miles a day that I need to average the whole way there. So, you know, that seems relatively doable. You know, probably won't be averaging 18 miles a day right now, but I can ramp that up, of course, as I get into even better shape. But there are some areas, especially through the White Mountains, which is still way off in the distance now, but where the terrain is pretty crazy and people, you know, average 10 miles a day, you know, around there. And so, you know, for every 10-mile day I do, I'm gonna have to do a 30-mile day somewhere to make that up, a 29-mile day. So that doesn't seem all that likely that I'm gonna do that many 29-mile days. So, you know, all that means is instead of 18 miles a day on average, I kind of need to plan on probably averaging around 20 miles a day, or maybe even 21 in some of the, you know, in some of the areas that are a little easier. So I don't know, it seems like a formidable task. I do think there's a chance that I won't be able to do it, but also really in my heart of hearts I think I can make it for sure. So I just have to keep going. My kind of mindset this year, you know, instead of, I mean, not that I'm not enjoying things, you know, I love this, I'm taking it all in, but, you know, instead of stopping for long periods of time to enjoy things or head off, you know, a half-mile off trail to see some view or whatever, my mindset this year is more about moving and getting miles in. And, you know, at the end of the day when I'm tired, instead of saying, hey, I'm going to call it a camp right here, I'm going to stop, sit down, eat something, and, you know, with the plan that, you know, 30 minutes later, I'm going to get up and just do 1 more mile or 2 more miles or 3 more miles. Because every day that I can add 3 miles, you know, that's 7 days of doing that. And I just made up a 21-mile day. So I've got to kind of have that mindset this year. So you'll probably hear that from me a lot more than you have in the past. Today is a much cooler day than yesterday. Yesterday it was like 80, you know, whatever. It was pretty warm. I was sweating a lot. And today I gotta keep moving or I get a little chilly. So it's nice. I mean, allows me to hike fast. But anyway, so I just checked the weather and it looks like the really heavy rain and thunderstorms, well, maybe they're not even calling for thunderstorms anymore. It's hard to tell, but heavy rain still and like 95% chance. So, but they're not calling for that until about 3 o'clock. Well, it's 10:15 right now. I've been hiking for 4 hours already and am, you know, well over halfway, but not that much more, you know. So I've still got a ways to go. I'm not moving all that fast today. A little worn out from yesterday, but it looks to me like I should be able to get to Port Clinton before the heavy rain, hopefully. Now, excuse me, I don't know what good that does me because there's like a 95% chance of rain really the rest of the night, just not, I guess, heavy. So I don't know. I'm gonna get into Port Clinton and hike down to the Walmart and resupply, and who knows, maybe I'll just kind of hide out, you know, in Walmart for 2 or 3 hours until the really heavy rain ends, then just head back onto the trail. There's no like little motel or hostel or anything like that in Port Clinton, so I'd have to, you know, get a shuttle and take a, you know, whatever, hitchhike, do something quite a distance to get to a motel, which I don't need to do anyway. But if there happened to be one, you know, like 100 feet from the Walmart, I might just stay there to ride out the storm tonight. But anyway, I think I'll just resupply at Walmart and head back out on the trail whenever the really heavy stuff stops, and then just find a place to camp down the ways tonight. It might be hard to see in the video, but this is a pretty steep section through here. Lots of loose rocks and stuff, and I have been warned earlier today that you really, really want to not be doing this when it's raining. And so, looks like I got lucky, and I'm going to make it through here before the rain. It's about 1:30, and it still hasn't rained. Knock on wood. So yeah, probably just have another, I don't know, 10 minutes or so till I get to the main road. Hopefully I can hitch a ride to the Walmart and get there ideally before it rains, and then just do my thing there for a couple hours, have dinner and stuff. So we'll see if it all works out, but so far so good.